Hey, guys, it's Jim. I just need a ruling on something. If the hooker's already dead when you get into the room, that's, like, not your fault, right? Oh, shit. Gotta go. Bye.
Hello, boys. This is Dustin. First time caller, long time listener. I have something I have to confess to you, boys. Every Wednesday, around 8:15, I pour myself a glass of wine. I slip into something comfortable. I lay down in the dark with the headphones on, listening to your podcasts. I pretend I'm in the room with you guys. And every time you guys talk, I slowly caress myself. Sorry about that. I almost climaxed just thinking about it. Anyway, I have to go to work. I'll be listening to you guys tonight.
Hey, WCOC, I'm your number one fan. I heard the phrase that pays, so I'm calling in with my request. I want to hear Drugs and Masturbation by Boris the Sprinkler, because you're live from space, but really in a living room. Woo!
Live from space, but really in a living room. Inquisitor is looking firmly with an inquiry. It's time to name the asshole of the week soon. Call Duncan Town. Call Duncan Town. Call Duncan Town. Wednesdays at 8:15. Hey, what's up, Internet?
Happy holidays,
Happy
fuckers.
holidays,
I hope you enjoyed that intro.
Merry Kringle.
Happy Hanukkah.
But it's Christmas.
Hello,
Kwanzaa's
ladies and
coming up.
gentlemen.
Oh, it's Christmas Day.
I'm Lion James, the Christmas Cowboy. Sorry.
But there's 7 days of the Hanukkah, and it starts on the 20. I think it's still that day, too.
Well, we didn't wish him that last week, Phil. Why didn't you think of Hanukkah last week?
Because it started on the 22nd, which was a Sunday. So it hadn't happened yet.
Have a quasi Kwanzaa.
That doesn't happen until 29.
I know.
Santos, I don't know about you.
Man, I wanted to make him Time Magazine Man of the Year
No,
last year.
Santos, you know what? You're A-okay.
You are okay, Santos.
Okay. Wait, you just did it. Now you're a white supremacist.
But he's Hispanic.
That's right.
Was he going to burst into flames now?
Yeah, he's gonna fucking spontaneously combust.
I saw a Nazi movie once
It's
where there
gonna
was
be
a
like-
black Nazi. It was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen.
Oh, he's going to be like, does not compute.
Well, I
Steam's going to come out of his ears.
There was a woman, she was a Puerto Rican woman, and she was a white supremacist.
These
I
things
couldn't
happen.
believe it. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's nuts.
I think sometimes people just do crazy shit just to get famous for it.
Probably so.
All right. To avoid being fucked with in prison, if you go to prison, would you align yourself with that, or would you take the lick? I personally would take the lick.
I take a lick.
I don't know about being in prison, but I heard that in some places you have to align with somebody. But
I
that's in,
align
like,
with
really
the
rough
Latin Kings
places.
because my last name is Hispanic.
Nice.
Despite me not being Hispanic, I could look Hispanic. I kind of look like Richard Ramirez, the serial killer.
Yeah, with the right facial hair, you could pull that off, dude.
Yeah,
You could just say you had a white mom or something.
All right.
There must be like some bikers or something you can hang.
Santos, me and you, we're taking over prison.
All right. I can do that.
I'm hoping
Make
I'm
the
old
shivs out of
enough
plastic
Latin
spoons.
Kings.
Latin Kings.
to be one of those old guys that nobody wants to fuck with anyway, because I'm running the library.
Santos, we're gonna be
Get
okay.
a cart. You'll be okay.
We're gonna be okay.
That's a white supremacist symbol of hate, according to the
I
NPR.
have the X on the forehead.
Ah, fuck the NPR. You know what?
There's a lot of social police going on. You cannot pick on a 16-year-old kid who's in the public eye. Everybody's fucking fair game. Greta Van Fleet, Greta, the fucking
Van
Trump
Susteren.
kids. Yeah. Greta's
name every Greta.
Greta Van Susteren.
Like Trump's kids are fair game. I always thought that Bush's daughters were fair game.
They were fair game.
Public eye is public eye, man.
No, I think you leave kids mostly out of it until kids interject themselves into it, and that's how I felt. I didn't feel bad. There was the one kid from the Parkland.
The girl.
That kid, not the girl and the guy. That one kid was fucking so obnoxious. David Hogg. But
yeah.
It's like whatever. You know what? Like I respect them. At least they seem to be able to handle it. Like they probably realize the fucking crazies they're gonna deal with. I have a problem with kids telling me to do anything.
Me too.
Really, it's just like
because you're just regurgitating what you hear from your parents.
You don't know. When I was 16, I didn't know anything about life, and no 16-year-old really knows fucking anything about life because you don't know anything about life till you're like in your 30s. Like till you see shit. I feel like
sometimes they say life begins at 40, but it's like people have some sort of youth culture. Love or something like that. Like we all want to be
I wish
young
it was
forever.
like back in the 60s when they fucking hated the youth. It's like these fucking hippies, fuck them. They're a fucking menace.
Shoot them in the street.
There was this cool David Duchovny show that didn't last about like Charles Manson and the 60s, and his partner was a hippie and he wasn't a hippie, and I think a hippie killed his wife or something. I forget what it was called.
Interesting.
Like Zodiac or something, and it was this Duchovny show.
I think I saw.
I don't think it lasted to a second season. Right. Anyway, I think Duchovny's awesome. Anyway,
about the OK symbol though, it means different things in different countries too. First of all, OK is a stupid. Who does this anymore?
You know what my favorite time when this happens is when a girl is just kneeling in front of me and going like this.
Yes.
With her mouth. That's when it's A-OK to be doing that.
But it's like in France, this means you're a zero. So if you make this to somebody in France, you're not saying okay, you're saying you're a fucking zero. You're like, you're worthless.
Wow.
And then if you do this in Africa, it means asshole. You're actually calling someone.
That's what I thought. I think that's in sign language as well.
There was those fucking military cadets that were doing it in a picture, and really what I think they were doing was. And then now I could punch you in the shoulder.
You think they were doing that?
That's probably what they were doing.
They were playing the high school game. Whoever sees it
when you look at that, and then you could knock him in the shoulder. I think
so. They're trying to make it out to be this like underground secret way.
That whole
wait a minute! Is that the only thing that was uncovered there?
But that whole thing happened because what I read was that started on 4chan as like a thing that they could do. Like, let's try and fuck with people and see how much shit we can get people to believe. So they just made this fucking whole thing up.
Right.
It's like...
But it was adopted by idiots.
Do you really think it was adopted by idiots? Or do you think it was never...
Extreme actions
I don't
usually...
know. I know fucking... I don't think I know white supremacist people, but I know racist people. And they don't have fucking hand signs.
They're not that sophisticated. They're just indiscriminate.
They just fucking look and see brown people and they don't like them. There's no fucking like. They're like, yo, you hate the brown too. I don't think it's like that. Like, like I know all kinds of people. Like some of them are really fucked up. Like that's just the path my life has taken me.
If I learned anything this year, it's that liberalism can go too far. Which is why I try to stay to the center. But
moderation is always best.
It's crazy,
You have to stay in the center. Like I agree with gun control. Where it's like you certainly need to know who's fucking buying guns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think there should be a list of people with mental illness who can't buy guns?
No, I think people with mental illness should be able to buy whatever they want. But my point with that is like, all right, so you know where at least guns are going out. They're being sold, right?
Yeah.
You can't sell certain guns. Fine. People don't need a fucking Uzi. People don't need automatic weapons.
Right.
As long as you have to pull the trigger every time you fire a round, I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. But you can't take all the guns away. Because then when you do that, it's like, now people know nobody is armed at all. There's no fear, so that when they get armed, because they will, because criminals never follow the law. So they're fucking over here. If guns are illegal here, they can still get guns over here in criminal world. Regardless. There's always going to be some way they could buy a gun. If they have to spend fucking $9,000, they're going to buy that fucking gun and shoot whoever they want to shoot.
It would be a lot harder. There's already, the whole society is already flooded with guns. But the thing is that they would just send people, like college kids, alright? These gang members up here in New York and fucking places who drive down to fucking Tennessee or Virginia or whatever, get some college kid, buy them 50 guns and drive it back up there because they have different gun laws down there.
I don't think they want to hear us talk about guns on Christmas. Unless we're going to talk about what guns we want for
Well,
Santa.
you brought it up.
Speaking of guns, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
I have to say it's between Dyer and Gremlins. I think Gremlins probably. Only because it scared the shit out of me when I was 6, and ever since then I've just had a love for that movie. It was just the first movie that would just surprise me in so many ways. Like the scene where the gremlin goes into the fucking microwave is genius. Where he's fighting with the mom, and he's got the 2 knives. And
Spielberg always has a mom as a hero. In a lot, it's one of his themes. Like,
and just the idea that it was almost over, and then like it was about to start all over again and shit like that. Yeah,
And
that's
that
a great
old Chinese guy takes him away.
Yeah.
That's the best. You let him watch TV. This is all mad.
You'll never see a movie like that again.
I love that they used the Darlene Love Sleigh Bells Ring in the beginning, Winter Wonderland, and you get to establish the town, and basically by the third act you see that town that's almost that same walk around town, but with the chaos of the gremlins. Like was that Chris Columbus? I think was the director of that one, right?
No.
It wasn't Spielberg. Spielberg produced it.
Oh yeah, Chris Columbus might have directed that.
He also did one of the Harry Potters. I believe was the third one.
Okay.
And he wasn't the discoverer of America. He was a director as well.
Maybe it was Dan O'Bannon. Did he direct that? I don't know. We could look, but I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. I don't care.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
You know, it's not really a Christmas movie, but it's a movie that they played on Christmas. The Beatles' Yellow Submarine.
Nice.
Now, I grew up watching every year, 11:30 on Metro Media 5, Channel 5, they would play Yellow Submarine. So this was after I got my gifts.
Was there a TV in black and white?
It was in color.
Well,
It was
Tomato
color
Sauce.
TV.
So it was actually a yellow
Yeah, that's it.
submarine for you.
It was,
There's a hole in me pocket.
huh?
There's actually a yellow submarine for you then.
It was a yellow submarine for me.
Gray.
It was not a gray submarine. It was a yellow submarine.
Nice.
Nice.
We had a zenith. We had our zenith in the living room, and I would lie under the tree, and lights were on and everything. 11:30, I watched Yellow Submarine, and it was just a really fun movie to see on Christmas Eve. And that's my Christmas movie.
Okay.
All right. Did you know that the Beatles' only appearance is actually at the end, the coda scene? They
right.
didn't do the voices. I don't understand that. Did they just not have time? What was the story
The
behind
story was that the Beatles weren't really into the movie at the beginning.
it? Okay.
So that's why they got the voices of other people. They said they searched throughout England, throughout Liverpool and England to find those voices.
Some of them are.
They're really bad. Yeah.
There is the worst pun ever, where the captain goes, "You mustn't pull that lever," and then Ringo goes, "I can't help it. I'm a born lever puller."
Yeah, that's right.
Terrible
That's right,
pun, but I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
born lever puller.
And
It sounded nothing like them at all.
there's a weird thing in the beginning when the submarine's going by and the cop, he's like going around the
Yeah,
cop,
that's
the cop
right,
looking
yes,
for it.
yeah.
And the cop's going, push, 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 push. It always
With the
freaks
cat.
me out.
Yeah.
See this weird fat cop going, push, push, push.
Yeah.
we
Turns around, the cat
we
leaves.
should figure we're going to impose like a naked woman or something. Let's ruin a classic. They re-released it on VHS in like the 90s. I was in college. I was a big Beatles guy at the time, and everybody bought me something Yellow Submarine Island. Figures, playing
Wow.
cards, puzzles.
Here's the thing, though. When they re-released the film, they re-released the British version. The American version is a little bit different. Hey Bulldog is not the American version.
That's right.
Yeah.
When they added it to the VHS, MTV and VH1 were playing Hey Bulldog as if it was a new video. That scene
Oh,
cut.
okay.
Yeah, and there's that two-headed bulldog. in
Yeah,
that
right.
sequence. Yeah, I was pretty in the bag for this movie. I don't know. It's not my favorite of the Beatles movies, but
It's fun. It's
Help is my favorite.
Help is a
Yeah,
great
mine
movie,
too.
Mine is Hard Day's Night. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah?
one of my favorites. Help
It
is
took
great,
me
too.
4 times to watch that movie to actually understand it. You know, like I don't know. That's general with British. The British Office. I had to watch each episode
very
twice
colloquial.
to get all the
I
jokes.
love the. I watched the British Office with subtitles, which was a lot.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a huge thing.
Time
for me.
saver.
I appreciate the. I can't hear very well anyway, so sometimes trying to understand.
Is that from
like,
Years of Rocking?
Yeah, years of having Billy
Yeah.
in this ear. I listen to mixes like this is fucking horrible. Like I can't hear nothing. But no, I watched the British Office and like a lot of British shit with subtitles, so that I really even just like I understand most of what they're saying.
Did you
but when I
get into
can
the
read it-
Downton Abbey?
No, fuck Downton Abbey. My parents watch that. And I always call it Downtown Abbey just to make them mad. It's Downton.
I just thought that would be
Downtown.
one of those things that your friend would make you watch.
No. I would never watch that. My girlfriend watches good TV. She got me to watch American Horror Story 1984, and that was the tits.
That's supposed to be a really good one.
Where does it take place? Usually it's the
It's
location.
a fucking camp.
Oh, wow.
And it's awesome. It's like every slasher trope and craziness and fucking. I don't want to spoil it, but it was worth checking out.
I gotta be honest, I loved the first season with
Yeah, me too.
Dylan McDermott.
And then it lost me after the first 2 episodes a second.
I got to like 3 or 4, but the Insane Asylum one, they were moving too slow to tell the story. Moving way too slow. I loved the twists of the first season.
Yeah, that was good shit, that show. You want to know my favorite Christmas movie?
I would love to hear your favorite Christmas
Not
movie.
to cut you off.
No.
I did want to
You gotta
hear
cut me
your
off.
thrilling synopsis of American Horror.
I love it. I am thrilled.
Sorry. Merry Christmas, cunts. No, I think I have 2, but one's a sequel to the other, and it's Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman.
Nice.
Where they made this movie.
It's so bad.
It is an atrocious movie.
Yeah.
But
It was slapped together. It probably got greenlit because of Chucky.
no. These guys made this movie as like a labor of love. And it's like they
Still got greenlit because of Chucky.
No.
You gotta have a slasher film with a gimmick.
I don't think it got greenlit. These guys just made it for like no fucking money, dude.
Is the first one the one where they're on the resort?
No, that's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
The
okay.
sequel, they got, dude, fucking Doug Jones is in it.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
one of the
remember.
most amazing actors of our generation, Doug Jones, is in that film.
Wow.
He gets murdered on he's on a raft in the ocean, and then a giant fucking snowman crushes him. But, one of the greatest actors of our generation is in Jack Frost 2.
Truly a high point for his
But no,
career.
those movies are fucking great. It's the first film appearance of Shannon Elizabeth. Nadja from American Pie, the hot foreign chick that Jim fucks on the internet. It's the same setup we have today.
Wait, I fucked someone on the internet?
Not you, Jim in American Pie. The pie fucker.
Right.
Jason Biggs.
Yep.
They're sucking each other's dick. Sorry.
No, it's her first film appearance, and it's honestly there's good gore in it. It's fucking. I mean, he bangs her. He turns into ice in the tub, and then has his way with Shannon Elizabeth. That's
Nice.
disturbing.
Nice.
I remember in the second one, this gay guy gets murdered, but you don't actually see the murder. You see like these Polaroid snapshots of the things.
Oh yeah, that's the photographer, I think.
Yeah. It was really creepy. And at one point, like the carrot's in his eye, and then you just hear the voiceover of the monster. But it was like it's absurd. It's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or Ghoulies.
Yeah, or Ginger Dead Man is another one of my favorites, which is
I love all those
is a
movies.
killer gingerbread man voiced by Gary Busey. In the first
Oh my
one.
god.
And
I'm gonna see this.
And he's just like, "Hey, bitch, I'm the Ginger Dead Man." Like, and he's like Chucky, but like a Ginger Dead Man. It's a full moon movie. You can watch them all free on Tubi, Tubi,
Okay, yeah, I know
which
what
is
you
an
mean,
app
yeah.
on the phone. Like, it's a free app.
Okay.
They put in like a commercial once in a while.
Is Tubi the one that has like all the G.I. Joes?
It's got all old shit, like a ton of old full movies.
Terry had
all
some
the-
streaming service that was like
all the
free.
It's probably that either that or Crackle, but it's got all Puppet Master movies, all the Trancers, like all those old Full Moon.
Puppet Masters are actually really cool. I love that one in the trench coat with the hat and the.
But they did a
so
Christmas film called The Ginger Dead Man, and then eventually they did a crossover where the Ginger Dead Man fights with the evil Bong. That they also have a film of.
Nice.
Oh my god!
It really is probably the best cinematic universe. I think
it's just the camp goes too far sometimes. I think. I don't know.
No, to me. Those are the best kind of movies where it's like a movie you put on. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly.
Like,
see, I thought that like back in the day there'd be some like horror movies on certain cable channels. Do you remember Food for the Gods?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The water gets contaminated. There's a giant chicken, giant rats at the end. That movie, like, they turned a bunny into a fucking evil monster.
Yeah,
it was,
Food for the Gods.
That was absurd. When I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck is that? But I remember like sometimes like. Around soap opera time, they used to show like horror movies in like the 70s and the early 80s.
Oh, they always did. Yeah, like a 4:30 movie. Yeah,
like there was that one where there was this camp with all these frogs, and the frogs wanted.
Oh, Frogs is great. Yeah, Frogs
it's called
great.
Frogs.
Frogs. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one was
Land.
shown, and then I guess they just ran out of after-school specials. So
Well, they run Godzilla movies too. I mean, I missed seeing Godzilla on network television. It was great.
oh my god, you're like the horror whisperer. Okay. Around that time, there was this movie where this guy was trying to get away from these zombies, and he goes into a bar, and all the monsters are there, and then he tries to get into his car, and it turns out all the monsters are in the car, but they look terrible, like the Wolfman mask and like Star Wars. That don't look like good monsters. Does that ring a bell at all?
Transylvania Twist?
I think that might be it.
Okay.
Because I think it did take place in Transylvania.
It's like that's like a parody movie kind of.
Yeah, but but the guy can't get away, and it's kind of scary because he just can't get away. I don't know. The worst nightmares that I've ever had are like I can't get to where I'm trying to get to.
You know what I would also put as an honorary Christmas movie?
Go ahead.
Nobody ever remembers this as a Christmas movie, but Lethal Weapon.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's also... There's so many parallels with that and Die Hard that it's like funny.
Yeah.
Like they're both Christmas movies. Bruce Willis was considered for Mel Gibson's part in Lethal Weapon, and Mel Gibson was considered for Die Hard, and like
They went through, which brings me to my favorite Christmas movie. It's Die Hard. I used to watch it religiously every Christmas.
Are you aware of the development of Die Hard?
I did. I saw that doc on the movies that make us.
So that was supposed to be a fucking Frank Sinatra movie.
A Frank Sinatra movie
Really?
based on a novel, because Frank had done a movie based on a novel within that series.
And then it was going to
They
be
had to ask him
Commando.
first.
Then it was going to
Really?
be Commando 2. It was going to be the sequel to Commando as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they retooled it and made it Die Hard.
Wow.
I don't remember that in the...
No, that's like a little known, but that's the thing. It was.
I know it went through a lot of development phases, and they switched screenwriters halfway through because they wanted
Die Hard
jokes.
could have been Commando 2.
Commando doesn't really hold up, but Die Hard holds up.
Commando fucking holds up. He throws a saw blade and cuts off a guy's head. You know what? Fuck you. That's my favorite Christmas movie. Commando. When he murders 87 people in that movie.
He doesn't get a scratch.
No,
Is that
he does
realistic?
get a scratch at the end when the guy cuts him with the knife. And then he goes,
that's the only
let
one.
off some steam, Bennett! And he throws a fucking pipe through the guy's chest into a boiler, and fire and steam come out of it. And it's like, he throws it through chainmail armor. It's the best fucking thing ever. I love Commando. The way he holds the guy off the mountain. Remember when I told you I was going to kill you last? I lied. He just drops him. And
Didn't
then
he lift that sports
then he
car
goes over to his sports car and just pushes it back
Yeah.
like the four wheels. Oh, it's fucking great. When he goes and he kills the fucking guys in the hotel. Oh, what car should we take? We'll take Cook's car. He won't be needing it. They just cut to his fucking corpse. Oh, it's great.
It was a race against time movie, and every person he had to kill He had to kill a lot of people.
He had to murder Dan Hedaya. Dan Hedaya has to die.
Hey, it was to save Alyssa Milano.
Oh,
so.
it's Dan Hedaya with a shotgun. I'm gonna fill him full of fucking shells. Fuck him. After I murdered his henchman with a fucking saw blade. Throws it and it cuts the guy's scalp off. And you see his brain.
You really do see his brain.
He's like a superhero in that movie.
That's what he hides
but
in
he
the
doesn't
tool
know
shed.
he has superpowers. Like, he just thinks he's a normal human being living among other humans. But he is like a super god.
He's some sort of like adaptability powers, like where they had him cornered in a tool shed, and that's when he's like throwing the fucking blades.
That movie is fucking unbelievable.
Anyway, Die Hard, an actual Christmas movie. I learned a couple cool things.
Hans
Gruber did not know how to hold a gun because he was a stage actor. He kept limp-wristing it. There are a few shots still in the movie. And the other cool thing was the stunt guy is great. He's got like a cowboy hat like me, and he's like, "Yep." So I told Rickman that we drop him at 3. And they drop him at 2.
Yeah.
And that look of fear. And I always thought that guy was brilliant. That is the most look of fear I've ever seen because the watch comes off and the editing of that movie. I mean, it could have been a piece of shit if that movie wasn't edited. The editor should have got a lot of credit. But it's funny though. In the beginning, like, everybody thought that Bruce Willis was a joke. So they took his face off the damn poster in the early months.
Behind a building.
Yeah. And then once there was buzz for it, but I don't know. I used to play this fun game with my friend Chris, who lived 2 doors down from me. Like, we'd come up with a scenario, either with action figures or just like hanging out. How would Indiana Jones handle it? How would James Bond handle it? How would Bruce Willis handle it? And we always based it on Bruce Willis on moonlighting. He was kind of a barroom baller.
Right, of course.
Could get out of funny situations by doing goofy things. But, and Harrison Ford always do the hardest thing possible, and James Bond would use some gadget to get out of trouble.
Right.
So we'd always like play that thing. But then all of a sudden it became an action star, so the game was just null and void. Thanks, Bruce Willis. But, I mean, the ho-ho-ho thing.
Yeah, that's why I always said Die Hard was a Christmas movie. When people would like debate it, I'm like,
No, it is.
ho ho ho! I got a machine gun. Like,
Yeah.
that's the fucking. There you go.
The whole premise is that there's a less security. I mean, the whole heist was happening because there was less security and just a party that they needed to control.
Yep.
And then what was the other thing? They got the guy who played Powell to actually go
Reginald
to
Bill Johnson.
to the building, and he's like, "Oh, these trees are
God's
bad."
gift to humanity, Reginald Bell Johnson.
He had to audition, and and like when he got that part, like his mom was the only one that supported his acting career. He bought her a house, a car, a boat. He like sat there for 10 minutes rattling off all the things he bought his mom because his mom supported him. So he's a nice man, or at least.
No, he seems like one of the actually most like genuinely decent people in Hollywood, I think.
He showed up on an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because the main character is obsessed with Die Hard, and he showed up for like a scavenger hunt, and they had a whole joke. And so some actors don't want to do that. The funny thing is, Kevin Smith's cartoon Clerks, before Alec Baldwin got the part, he wanted the villain to be like Hans Gruber. But Rickman said, I appreciate it, but no, I don't want to be typecast as that kind of character forever.
See, that's funny. Rickman wouldn't have been typecast as that for doing a voice in a cartoon. Nobody would have fucking...
No, because nobody saw it, because it only lasted like half a season.
But even if they got Rickman to do it, nobody would have fucking known or given a shit that it's Alan Rickman. Like, honestly, that's what I would tell Alan Rickman as Kevin Smith. Look, dude, nobody's gonna know or give a shit that it's you. It's a cartoon. Just fucking do it. Like, Alec Baldwin did it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm glad Alec Baldwin did it because it was a great vocal performance. Like,
yeah.
I gave up seeing Alec Baldwin interview Treat Williams.
You gave it up, or you did see it?
Last week for the podcast. I could have, but I had to be sitting here with you guys doing a podcast. I got invited to the Actors Studio.
That's nice.
To go inside the Actors Studio, but it was a Wednesday night, so I did not.
Really?
But I could have.
Wow.
I always say every movie with Treat Williams is a treat. I really want to get Treat Williams on the podcast.
Yes, please. Treat
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it might.
Stop being a negative Nancy.
Jim,
It's America. Anything's possible.
you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can ever.
Wait, I'm Darth Vader
that's
in this
coming out
scenario? I always thought I was Luke.
Luke.
All right.
You're the Jawas.
It is the Jawa.
Check out my eBay store. Ding.
That would make me more like Watto. I think I'm more like Watto. I got the belly. I'll take Watto.
How do those wings support Watto?
Yeah, right.
He doesn't really fly very high, does he? That was Cheech Marin, right?
Was it?
No,
Was it?
I don't think so.
I thought it was Cheech Marin.
Maybe.
That was
They had some pretty good
that was
celebrities.
one of the most racist portrayals of anything. Watto.
Watto was as bad as Jar Jar?
Yeah, pretty much equally. They were saying Jar Jar was like a stereotype of like a Jamaican kind of like Caribbean, and they were saying Watto was like a stereotype of like a Hasidic Jew kind of like.
Oh, I thought he was trying to be Mexican.
I have no idea what he was supposed to be.
I don't know. People were very displeased with Watto.
Yeah.
But Jesus will forgive them, and it's his birthday. I think we should wish Jesus a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Wait, like Full Metal Jacket, where they're singing happy birthday to Jesus in their underwear?
Oh,
No, we're
man.
not stripping down.
No, I didn't suggest.
I'd be the guy who says he doesn't exist, and then probably have to fucking.
I'd be
struggle
the guy
with
who
shame.
says he was brown and a huge homo. It's equally as upsetting to the people who really believe in Jesus.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Happy birthday,
Gay sex in the desert.
I hope you're getting some
Sounded good.
crazy cock.
Hang out
I
with
think on that
horse.
note, we should get out of here until New Year's.
Yeah, live
right.
like Jesus.
We'll see you guys on New Year's.
Lates.